Good morning, everyone. We are Team Halal in One, and our group members consist of Ashley, Dian, Jia Yiing, and Diyanah, and myself, Jaspavan. Today, we will be presenting on our project Halal in One. We will be talking more about our problem and solution, backend data, APIs used, technologies and libraries, and finishing off with a web demo. So how did Halal in One come about? Well, whenever we go out to eat with our Muslim friends, we tend to face a few problems. Firstly, we may not know whether the restaurants around our location are halal certified. This means that we are forced to take the time to Google for other halal food places nearby. Secondly, some food places either do not have information online or have incomplete information on whether it's halal certified. This causes us to take a risk by making a trip down to the food place to find out if it's halal. If it's not, we have to settle for other more common halal food places, such as McDonald's. Finally, some places that were previously halal certified choose not to renew their certification. It's a bit hard to track which restaurants are still halal, as you'll have to check when the certification expires. So our solution is Halal in One. As the name suggests, it is an all-in-one platform that provides store information, locations, and reviews all in one place. Based on your current location, a list of the nearest halal food places will be populated. Through this, we aim to eliminate the three problems that we often face. Now, Jia Yiing will tell you more about the backend data.
Thank you, Jaspavan. For our database, we have three tables: user, contribution, and restaurant. The data is stored in AWS Cloud Relational Database Store using MySQL for the coding convention. An example of how our database works is that we store the details when the user signs up. For contribution table, we compare the username of contribution and users table when the user submit the contribution. The admin also uses the contribution table to look through the contents and edit before adding the data to the restaurant. After insertion, the contribution table will also be updated on its verification status so that the admin won't have to look through the same details again. Now I'll pass on to Ashley to talk about the APIs used.
Thank you, Dian. Now I'll be talking about the API where we get the data to populate our web page with. For this project, the team and I decided to go the extra mile and created our own API. For this API, we developed it using the Flask framework and deployed it over Google App Engine, making it publicly available. The information that we require from this API are the halal restaurant details that are contributed by users, as well as an endpoint to provide authentication and accounts management. Now I'll pass my time over to Dian, who will talk more about the technologies and the libraries.
Thank you, Ashley. These are the technologies that we used in our project. For easy collaboration, we used GitHub. We feel that this is better than copying and pasting our code or sending files to each other. We used View Router for us to route to different pages easier. We realized that since we are using Vue Bootstrap, it is better for us to use View Router. To call our APIs from our databases and Google, we use Vue Axios. Vuex helps us call certain APIs better, such as the APIs for restaurant, search, and region. We used Vuex a lot in our region pages. Lastly, to run our app on our local host and to install certain packages using npm command line, we use Node.js dependency. Next, I'll move on to the libraries that we used. For the UI libraries, we use Bootstrap Vue so that we can integrate with the Vue framework better. We also use Vue Multi-Select so that users can select multiple options for form input in contribution and admin page. For the external libraries used, we use the email.js so that users can link their emails when they want to change their password in the event that they forget. We also use Vue browser geolocation to get the current location of the user. Vue session is also used to ensure that users can always log in and out whenever they want. And lastly, we use Vue crypto.js for user authentication in the login component. Now I will pass on my time to Diana for the web demo.
Thank you, Dian. So for the web demo, there are two ways to set up and run our web application. The first way is through the command prompt. So launch the command prompt window and go into the directory of our Halal in One project folder. Type in the command line npm run serve to set up the project. Once successful, there will be a localhost link provided. Now for the second way, we can then open the project through VS Code. Once there, open up a new terminal through the terminal option and type in the same command line, npm run serve. So similarly, the localhost link will be available there and will be linked to the port 80 of your Google Chrome. Control click on it or type the link into your browser to launch Halal web. As you can see, this is our homepage where it starts off with a carousel that displays the top or newest restaurants. Below there will be restaurant cards populated based on your current location, and it's Hougang for me. So there are 4 cards based in Hougang. I can then click on any one of the restaurant cards in order to view more information about it. So in this restaurant page, the information of the store is displayed. The name, description, address, operating hours, contact details, and the website links. Additionally, we used Google API to get the Google map of the restaurant location, as well as the ratings and reviews collected from Google themselves. Users can also search restaurants based on regions, such as North, Northeast, South, West, East, and Central. Once a user has entered a region page, an overview of all the locations and its respective cards are shown. They are shown within the bootstrap carousel to act as a pagination, so that the page won't be overloaded with so many restaurant cards. Similarly, we can click on any one of the cards to view more information about the restaurant, which leads us to the restaurant page. We can also filter the regions based on their locations. So by clicking on the locations button, we can then select one of the respective locations to view all of the restaurant cards found in there. This allows the user to view the cards based on locations easily. Should the user not be able to find a specific restaurant in Halal, they can then contribute to Halal through the contribute page, and that is accessible via the contribute button. However, the contribute page is only accessible after the user has logged in, so the user will have to sign up and log in their account. Once the user has successfully logged in, the login button will be updated to the user's username. We can now access the contribution page, where the contribution form is shown. Here, we can key in the restaurant information that we would like to contribute to Halal. One thing to note is that the data submitted through this form will not be immediately reflected into Halal, as we require the admin user to verify the form inputs before submitting and inserting it into the restaurant table database. This so that we can prevent duplicates of the restaurant data. So after clicking on the submit button, a success alert will be shown and the form will be reset, where all the inputs will be cleared, allowing the users to input a new restaurant information. The contribute page can also be accessed via the contribute button shown here. This is to allow users multiple ways to access the contribute page. The user also has access to the settings page that allows the user to change or reset their password. Once they are done with contributing, they can then log out and they'll be redirected to the home page. Now we can log in using the admin account to view the admin page. Similarly to the normal user account, the admin also has access to the settings page to update their password. We can click on the admin page button to access the admin page. Here you can see that there is a table displayed showing the data from the contribution table. So this data is actually the submitted contribution forms that we have done previously. We can then click on the edit button where the data will be populated into the admin form. Here the admins can edit and add any new information regarding the submitted restaurant. Once done, the admin can then click on the submit button to submit it, and this data will then be inserted into the restaurant table in the database to be retrieved and populated into Halal-in-One. So based on the admin form that we have sent, we have added a new restaurant card in the northeast region with the location Sengkang. So as you can see, it has been added and successfully displayed here. Additionally, our footer has 3 links: the sitemap, contact us, and privacy policy. The sitemap holds links and information about the public pages, while the contact us is a form for users to feedback to Team Halal-in-One. And the privacy policy shows information of the data that we collect. We also included an About Us page that holds information of the creation of Halal-in-One. With that, this is the Halal-in-One webpage. Thank you!